Olivia Rodrigo just did something most pop artists would never survive. She took the most valuable thing she had, her entire identity, and completely erased it. No purple, no sour nostalgia, no emotional safety net. And somehow, instead of losing fans, she scaled into the biggest female album debut of 2026 with over 82 million Spotify streams in a single day. This wasn't a comeback, this was a controlled demolition of a brand, rebuilt into something even bigger. And in this video, we're breaking down exactly how her team engineered it step by step, from visual psychology to streaming architecture to physical retail domination. Because what Olivia Rodrigo just did isn't just a rollout, it's a blueprint for how modern pop empires are built. Welcome back to Label Grid, the channel where we break down the marketing systems behind the biggest artist albums and label strategies in the music industry. Today, we're looking at Olivia Rodrigo's third studio album, You Seem Pretty Sad for a Girl So in Love, released June 12th this year. And what Geffen Records executed here goes far beyond a traditional album cycle. This is what the industry calls era architecture, the intentional destruction and rebuilding of an artist's identity to extend career longevity and unlock new commercial markets. Olivia Rodrigo didn't just change her aesthetic, she deleted the color that built her career. For years, Olivia Rodrigo's brand was purple. It wasn't just a color choice, it was a psychological anchor. Sour, Gods, her tours, her merch, everything lived inside that visual universe. Fans didn't just associate her with heartbreak pop, they associated her with purple itself. But in April 2026, everything changed. When You Seem Pretty Sad for a Girl So in Love was revealed, fans immediately noticed something missing. No purple anywhere. Instead, the visual world shifted into soft pinks, pale blues, and dreamlike sky imagery. Olivia was now inside down on a swing, framed like a Rococo painting, referencing classical art rather than internet pop aesthetics. This wasn't random rebranding, this was a controlled identity break, and the reaction was instant. Fans didn't just discuss the music, they discussed the disappearance of purple itself. That's the genius here. Her team didn't promote the album, they promoted a question: what happened to Olivia Rodrigo? And in modern music marketing, questions outperform answers every single time. Olivia Rodrigo turned her own branding into something fans were no longer allowed to have. The most powerful part of this rollout wasn't the new aesthetic, it was the removal of the old one. In branding psychology, consistency builds familiarity, but over-consistency creates predictability. Olivia's team understood she was entering the danger zone of becoming a fixed teenage archetype, so they did something aggressive. They removed her most recognizable visual asset entirely. No callbacks, no purple nostalgia bait, no return to roots messaging. Just a clean break. This is what marketers call scarcity of identity, and it forced the audience into active interpretation. Every fan post became analysis, every TikTok became theory, every media outlet became a decoder. Suddenly, Olivia wasn't a pop star anymore, she was an evolving cultural object, and that repositioning is what unlocked her shift into high fashion partnerships, luxury branding, and long-term industry credibility. Olivia Rodrigo secretly designed her album so fans would stop skipping tracks. The album structure itself is where marketing becomes invisible engineering. On the surface, it's a 13-track record, but in reality, it's a 2-act narrative system. Act 1, Girl So in Love, tracks 1 to 7. Act 2, You Seem Pretty Sad, tracks 8 to 13. This transforms the album into a psychological timeline, not a playlist, a story. The first half is emotional acceleration, obsession, excitement, romantic chaos. The second half is emotional collapse, doubt, instability, heartbreak, and this structure solves one of streaming's biggest problems: fragmentation. Most albums die because listeners skip to singles, but here, skipping destroys the experience. So fans stayed. They listened in order, they completed the story. And the data reflects it because every track entered global charts simultaneously, something that only happens when an album behaves like a unified ecosystem rather than a collection of singles. Olivia Rodrigo didn't market to fans, she targeted 3 different generations at once. The rollout strategy wasn't linear, it was multi-layered. First came the lead single, Drop Dead. a high-fashion visual directed by Petra Collins filmed at Versailles. Then came Coachella, where Olivia appeared unexpectedly during Addison Rae's set, instantly hijacking the festival's digital attention cycle. Then came Saturday Night Live, where she didn't just perform, she hosted and performed. That move alone repositions an artist from pop act to institutional entertainment figure. But the smartest move was still ahead. Her collaboration with Robert Smith of The Cure, this single decision expanded her audience beyond Gen Z into alternative rock listeners, legacy music fans, and older demographic groups who would normally never engage with her catalog. Suddenly, Olivia wasn't competing in one market, she was operating across three: Gen Z viral culture, mainstream television audiences, alternative music credibility circles. That's not promotion, that's audience engineering. Olivia Rodrigo proved physical music isn't dead, it's just been monetized wrong. While streaming dominates headlines, physical media is where true fan monetization happens, and Olivia's team understood this better than most. Multiple vinyl variants were released, each with narrative-driven color identities like pink, pretty sad, white, hope like snow, and deep blue, never looks so blue. This wasn't merchandise, it was collectible storytelling. Fans weren't buying music, they were buying artifacts of an era. Pop-up shops, early listening events, and exclusive retail drops turned the album into a physical world fans could enter, and the results were massive. Over 245,000 pure physical units in the first week alone, a staggering number in the streaming era. This proves something the industry often forgets. When emotional connection is strong enough, physical ownership returns. The biggest takeaway for labels is simple: evolution beats repetition. Olivia's team didn't extend the previous era, they dismantled it. They understood that long-term artist value comes from reinvention cycles, not brand preservation. Second, albums must be treated as ecosystems, not playlists. The two-act structure increased engagement, reducing skipping and elevating every track equally. Third, success today requires platform diversification. Streaming alone is not enough. Television, live performance, social media, physical retail, all of it must work together. No single channel carried this rollout, the system did. For artists, the lesson is even more direct. If you become too attached to your current version of success, you risk becoming trapped inside it. Olivia could have repeated Sour, it would have worked, but it would have limited her future. Instead, she evolved before the audience forced her to. She built tension instead of comfort. She created curiosity instead of predictability. And most importantly, she treated her career like a long-term narrative, not a single viral moment. What Olivia Rodrigo achieved with using Pretty Sad for a Girl So In Love wasn't just a successful album rollout, it was a full-scale brand reconstruction, a visual identity reset, a structural reinvention of how albums are consumed, and a multi-platform marketing machine that turned emotional storytelling into commercial dominance. This is no longer just pop marketing, this is modern entertainment architecture, and Olivia Rodrigo just proved she understands it better than almost anyone in the industry right now. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to subscribe to Label Grid for more deep dives into music marketing, artist strategy, and label execution breakdowns. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in our next video. Bye!